Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we are going to just introduce a young CEO of the world living in Sri Lanka and leading the great big organization in Sri Lanka, Colombo, that is called Leads. And the leader leading the leads. The man is behind the all scene, Mr. Monroe Jayasurya. He is CEO of Leads, the Working for the Children in Sri Lanka, associated with so many organizations. And this is a very special show for this dedicated to the Mr. Monroe Jayasurya and Leads and his work. He is already active in 15 years in the experience and non-profit organization, so passionate about the international development, project management, and resource mobilization. That is a need of our, as you know, in the pandemic. Now the world is facing with the pandemic way. So currently serving, as I told you, he's the CEO of Lead Sri Lanka and among the first two Sri Lankans to attend the World Evangelical Alliance Emerging Leadership Fellowship Program in 2017. And also, Mr. Monroe is a member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Directors, SLID, and have received many awards. If you see, if I read, it will take more than half hours, his profile. So rich profile of Mr. Uh, Monroe Jayasurya, experienced non-profit leader with demonstrated history of working in humanitarian and international development sector, competent team leader and mentor with the hands-on experience in non-profit management, governance, crisis management, disaster response, particularly skilled in organizational strategy development, partnership building, program management, community development, advocacy, resource mobilization, donor care, communications, human resource management and policy analysis, and experienced program manager, well versed in program cycle management, project budgeting, monitoring, evolution, and donor reporting, with a vast experience in the working with the multilateral partners and major donors in the European Union, United Nations, and World Bank. And he is just key as a work for the many organization. No need to say about that, but the personality is before us, and we'll discuss all the issues and just how these are key competence of Mr. Monroe: leadership skills, project management and implementation skills, analytical and problem solving skill, that is need of our resource development and fundraising skill, that is also country needs, world needs, Sri Lanka needs, and how the news from the negative news from the Sri Lanka. So I think Monroe will highlight on the focus on such issues, how Sri Lanka is facing the financial crisis or not, and he is a communicator, good communicator, and also a master of computers and know things. So welcome, Mr. Monroe, in our program, so of this and talk, and just now start about yourself and your work. So how just your leads recently you have joined, how you are doing well with the leads for the integrated development of children in Sri Lanka, Monroe.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Kumar, for that kind introduction. And happy Republic Day to you and all the Indians who are watching this.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank
it's,
you.
it's a great privilege to join and talk about the work that we do at Leeds. So I come from
Little
a
louder, please,
15
Monroe.
year, yes, I come from a
Little.
15 years of experience in the development sector. And my passion was always to work with children. So that has been a passion right through while I was growing. Just before I moved into the development field, I was in the corporates and in the banking sector. But still, my passion was to work with children, and then I decided, yes, I need to switch roles, and that's how I ended up being the CEO at Leeds. And the work that we do, especially, is caring for survivors of child abuse in the organization, which is the integral part of the work that we do. That went very well with the passion that I had, Kumar. So that is something that really interested me, because as you know, when you look at the South Asian countries, especially Sri Lanka, India, and even the other countries, the children are suffering a lot nowadays,
Okay,
especially when it comes to child abuse and also economic issues, education, and the list goes on. So I think it is our duty to see, because these children are the future of the world, the country. So if we don't have that foundation laid out for them, and if we don't support as we are in the development sector, I think the future is not in good hands.
good.
So just to give a little bit about what we do at Leeds. So Leeds is a national agency which was established in 1983, and we are an approved charity dedicated to creating safer spaces and brighter futures for the children of Sri Lanka. So our work is integrated in recognizing the child as part of the family, community, and the nation as well. And also, our work is holistically towards the best interest of the child through our national policy and at grassroots with survivors of abuse, also strengthening the families and communities of children at risk. We
Okay.
also provide necessary safeguards and support to reduce vulnerabilities from abuse, poverty, and risk reduction from disaster. So that's just in a nutshell what we do and how I came to be in the development sector, Kumar.
So nice, just well, well said. Just how the leads working for the children upliftment. Children is a big issue, and UNICEF is a key sector for the world level. I have also some work for the UNICEF and so many projects. So I can understand from the health to education to adolescence. Just these three phases of the children when you become the teens and from children to teens. So how just you came across any experiences with for the children's problem in Sri Lanka, and that's why you opted to leads to work for the children and whatever just your profile as there.
Yes, I mean, if you take Sri Lanka as a country, I think children have become the center for child abuse.
Okay,
I'm taking child abuse mainly because we, as Leeds, that's our primary work when it comes to Leeds, and we do child protection. So our work is on caring for survivors of child abuse, creating awareness on child protection, and advocating for change. And also our structure, commentary, the country ethics are such that because even if a child is abused, even if the child doesn't have education, even if the health crisis is, even if they don't have the facilities to go to hospital, the health crisis, it's not been brought up. The culture is such, it's hidden, it doesn't come out to light. So these issues are hidden. And also, if you take the current pandemic situation, I mean, the children's education have come to a halt. They don't have
yeah,
school anymore. They are cornered into their homes, and I mean, they don't have their playtime. They can't go to school. They can't mingle with their parents, with their friends. So it's a lot of emotional issues that the children are going through. That's during this particular time. If you take the last 2 years or so, also taking into consideration, Kumar, that during the last year or so, we saw a growth of about up to 40% where child abuse in our country has increased due to the pandemic, because the children are in their homes, they can't go out, they don't have anything to do. So, and also because of those issues, I mean, that has become a very serious concern in the country. Also, the children are now getting into a phase where they study online, and internet. Some of the rural area children are not so familiar with the internet, so they get addicted. They get drawn into other various activities on the internet, and that can lead to various other issues in children as well. Also, when you talk about education, I mean, a lot of the children don't
Yeah,
have basic facility of education. They are not having schools to attend to. They don't have proper classrooms. They don't have proper syllabuses. So that's another issue separately that we are handling. And also, if you take the central provinces, especially the northern province, eastern province, even in the southern province, I mean, the health sector, we don't have the facilities to create that awareness, to say what sort of health facilities should be there, how this health regulations are working for children. So that sort of facilities are not up to date.
great.
So I think yeah.
So actually, just you are just how just you focused and concerned about the issues for child in Sri Lanka, child abuse. So
Yes.
for the just eradicate just to for the child abuse, the child should be free from that. I think say disease, whatever disease created by the society. So how just you leads has taken leads for
Yes.
the eradicate the core issue of the children in Sri Lanka.
Yes, so we work in three areas for such children, Kumar. So one
Mhm.
is caring for survivors of child abuse. When an issue is identified, a lot of our referrals come through the government probation and also through the juvenile courts. So once the children are referred to us, we do have in two institutions in the country where we take them for counseling and rehabilitate them in-house till the child can be sent out to their families. So that's
Great.
one way of caring for the survivors of child abuse. And the other way is more, we do it in a more broader way where we create awareness on child protection. Because I mean, that is lacking. When there is no awareness, I mean, children don't know how to react to an issue. They don't know what's happening, and even if it's a child abuse case, we have to create that awareness as to how they can be free from that, or whether how they can get rid of that, or what they should do and how they can act on behalf of that. So we do create awareness among schools, school children, even
Great.
Sunday schools, and all other places. And also, the third point is that we advocate for change. We advocate on behalf of along with the government. We lobby, and advocate is done a greater extent to change the systems and also to care for the survivors of child abuse.
So nice. So just I'm talking about now skills. The managing the team is not easy task, if you see, and you are a team leader. So how just you monitor, evaluate, and just managing a team just for the uh, good output.
Like you said, Kumar, managing a team, and we have a staff strength of about 105 staff, and it's running throughout the country, is not an easy task. Um, when it comes to work, their personal issues and all that coming in together is not, it is challenging.
Great.
But also, we do have a very well versatile system that is going on. We follow a down up approach where we give the freedom for staff to come up with their issues for discussions, and we meet as the managers together. We discuss certain things. I mean, I always feel for an organization to grow, for organization to move forward, the best way is communication. If you don't have a proper communication within the management, within the staff, within your own team, and also on the work that we do, I think organizations tend to fail. So I think the prime key is proper communication, and also giving that space and the freedom for the staff to do their work, because which is very important, because they need to have that freedom, and that on the in the lines of the structure, we need to give them a certain freedom to move on and do their work. So I think those two are very key. to see how an organization can move on as a for the betterment of an organization.
Okay. So just a time of break, and after break, let's take you about the governance and just leadership and how just India and Sri Lanka is going well and how the leader. Just time of
Sure,
break.
sure.
Welcome to break. We are talking Mr. Monroe Jayasurya, CEO of Leeds, Colombo, Sri Lanka. I think he's the youngest CEO in the world. And living in Sri Lanka, also invite India, that is our Bharat. I call the India Bharat. Today is the Republic Day. So uh, my question is Monroe, just talk about the Leeds and now. Now going to the national and global way. The governance is also a key issue either in Sri Lanka, in India, any part of the world. And you also master of governance, how to govern. So, the form of the governance, how do you define the governance with your experiences?
I think in any of the organizations, and this is something that we tell for the new organizations that are popping up as well, that governance is key to any of the organizations, because you need to have the proper procedures, proper policies, so that the managerial work can be managed through those policies and procedures. If not, it will be very difficult for an organization to survive and move forward. So I think when it comes to governance, it is very very important that you have the right policies and procedures, because if you only have the policies and if you don't have the procedures, then there's a vacuum there. And also it's the other way around as well. So having the proper policies and procedures and sticking to it is very key to any organization uh, that is moving forward, because that is key and number one.
So nice policy and procedure, and how the and then after the produce, how the produce the result, how the what is the product of that working, just as you said.
And
So
also I think even if you work with any communities, any government, or any other organization, the transparency level, and also they build the confidence in the organization. And also there is a uh, people like to see organizations being transparent, being open, and they
great.
follow procedures and policies, so that I mean it can be a credible organization, which in the society that we live, I mean being a credible organization is another key aspect to it.
So the world is facing the pandemic. Then Sri Lanka also facing the pandemic, and in the pandemic time, how just you manage your work one, and how do you think the financial governance, the financial position of Sri Lanka? There was some reports from the media reports. The financial status of Sri Lanka is not good. How just you analyze and how do you counter?
Well, with the pandemic, I think it's a global issue, Kumar. I mean, most of the countries are struggling with the pandemic issue and also the economic crisis that have arisen. So I mean, and Sri Lanka is in the same shoes as well. So I mean, to mitigate this, it's going to take some time. I mean, the government is working hard to see to see an end to it, and also
Voice will be loud. Voice will be loud, little loud now. Actually, yeah.
right. And also, the government is trying their best to find solutions for it. And then also, credible organizations like us is also it's our responsibility, and as citizens, where we can help the government to overcome such situations, and also see as not as individuals, and also we need to work as a team, not as individuals, not as
Yeah,
government alone. I think the civil society, organizations, the government should come together and work towards a common goal if we are to come out of this struggle. Because I mean, this is a global pandemic. It's a global issue.
yeah, yeah.
Everyone is suffering. So I think we all have to come together. And through this pandemic, I see it's the marginalized communities who are at the stake of it and suffering. So I think uh, being in the development sector and being with the communities, working towards the communities and see how they can come up in life. I think it is very important that we do have a strategic plan moving forward so that especially the marginalized communities will not suffer in the future. If not, I think as a whole we are heading for disaster.
So, according to you, your view and according to your thoughts, there is no not to worry to Sri Lankans and not to all the other parts of the world. Sri Lanka is in the good safe and the safe hand of the governance.
Well, currently we do have struggles. I mean, I'm not saying we are not having struggles, but I think if we, like I said, if we work together and if we have a common strategy, and I'm pretty sure we can overcome
You
from
are
this
talking
issue.
about Sri Lanka, or talking about the leads.
I'm talking about Sri Lanka.
Great, so nice. So, as a nationalist, just how just you think the bilateral relation of India and Sri Lanka? How that
Yes,
how do
I
you
think
analyze?
yes, I think when you take Sri Lanka and India, we have been friends for many, many years. And
Yeah,
our social needs, our social structure is more or less the same. And
socially,
I mean,
culturally, and spiritually, and all manners. Yeah, yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Uh,
So, with that, Kumar, I think even the government of Sri Lanka has quite very good relationship with India. And I think even may it be the economic crisis, may it be the economy, foreign policies, in all of this, I think India has been a very, very close friend to Sri Lanka. And
great.
I think if you take from government point of view as well as even locally, I think India has been like the big brother to Sri Lanka. So I think I would like to take this opportunity to thank India for being and supporting us and being that elder brother to Sri Lanka. And I hope that the relationships, the bilateral relationships that we have, will go on from strength to strength. I think we need that big brother to be and support our little island.
So nice. So one last question we can say. The recently one survey has came, and you must have seen the survey in the media reports. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has been declared number one among the all populism and the popular leader, world most popular leader. And after that, Mexico and America and other leaders already rated. So, how do you think our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was just doing the well and also in the world survey, is in top now?
I think my answer to that is going to be very short. It's because the work that he has done and the development that he has brought to India, and he has done the work and he has shown it.
So, now, how do you think about our leader Narendra Bhai Modi?
Sorry?
How do you just think? How? What is your opinion about our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji?
I think he's a great leader, and I think I mean, the world should have more leaders like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because I think he has changed India a lot and brought in a lot of good things for India. So I'm very happy for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and I feel that we need leaders like him to lead the whole world.
Great. So now, uh, do you have any interest in politics? And you will join politics in sooner or later?
I have been a very close follower of politics, but I don't think that I will go into politics, because I think serving. is not only going to politics, even in our roles that what we do, still we can serve the people. And as long as you can serve the communities, and if you can make a change, I think that is the most important thing.
So nice of you, Mr. Monroe Jayasurya, to have our program of Zizi and Talk of Global Governance News TV. And so thanks to just you are leading the Leads Like organization. My congratulations, best wishes to you, and hope you will do the best for the society and global society with Sri Lanka, and you create a new milestone in your life for the welfare of global society. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Your participation is so nice of you. And
Thank
happy
you. Thank
Republic
you
Day.
so much. Thank you so much for having me on this. And then I wish you and everyone all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So nice of you.